The world of One Piece runs on chaos, pirates chasing freedom, governments hiding secrets, entire islands getting wiped off the map like they never existed, and in the middle of all that, you've got the Marines. Being one of them has to be the worst job of all time, because imagine having a loving wife and 2 kids waiting for you at home, and you suddenly get drafted to fight a 30-foot, 97-year-old man with stage 5 cancer, who has the ability to destroy the whole world. Or have to fight a literal god or devil out of nowhere.
What the hell is that? It's some kind of monster! Cut it out! That must be...
Bro got slimed for telling the truth, so let's break it down in deep. What is your daily life at every single rank of Marine, starting with the Chore Boy? Before you wear the uniform, you're a Chore Boy, which means you don't exist in any official capacity. You're not enlisted, not trained, and not even considered part of the force. You're just there, doing whatever needs to get done. Cleaning hallways, moving crates, running errands for people who won't remember your name. Your routine is simple. Repeat all the tasks every day without complaining. There's no glory or recognition here. No sense that you're part of something bigger. You probably get bullied by some hotheads without any reason at all, but you still need to get work done to move forward. This is where Kobe began, quietly working in the background before anyone saw potential in him. At this stage, your biggest advantage is distance from danger. You're nowhere near the front lines. No one expects you to fight. If pirates attack, your job isn't to engage, it's to stay out of the way. But you can't stay like this all the time. Seaman Recruit. Now you're officially part of the Marines. You've got a uniform, a designation, and a place in the system. It feels like progress, but the reality is a little less impressive. Your responsibilities are still very basic. You follow orders, you assist higher-ranked soldiers, you do the groundwork that keeps operations moving. Basically, those Marines you saw in episode where Zoro joins Luffy defines this rank. You're learning how to fight, how to handle weapons properly, and how to function as part of a structured force instead of an individual. Your assignments are controlled and low-risk. Guard posts, patrol routes, simple tasks designed to build consistency rather than test limits. You are not facing the real danger yet, because at this level, you will be like every other person who thinks they will get at Admiral or Yonko level as soon as they enter the verse. Petty Officer. This is where things start shifting. You're no longer brand new. You've built enough experience to handle yourself in basic combat situations, and you're beginning to understand how missions actually unfold outside controlled environments. You get deployed more often now, not for major conflicts, but for smaller operations that still carry risk. You might deal with local pirate crews, bandits, escort duties, or situations where things can escalate quickly if handled poorly. This is the first time you're exposed to unpredictability, because no matter how structured Marine training is, the real world doesn't follow those rules. Plans break down, information turns out wrong, enemies don't behave the way you expect them to, and when that happens, your ability to adapt matters more than anything you learned in training. Chief Petty Officer. At this point, you've earned your place. You're experienced, capable, and trusted enough to take on more responsibility than the ranks below you. You've been through enough missions to understand how quickly situations can change, and you've likely seen what happens when someone isn't ready for that shift. You may lead smaller groups now, handle assignments that require judgment instead of just execution. You're still under command, but your role has evolved, making adjustments based on what's actually happening in front of you. This is where confidence starts to develop, not the kind that comes from training. At the same time, the expectations increase. Mistakes at this level stand out more. They carry consequences that affect others, not just you. Promotion from here isn't based on effort alone. It's based on performance under pressure, because the next step up doesn't just require skill, it requires leadership. Lieutenant. Now you're responsible for more than just yourself. You're leading squads, making decisions during active operations, taking accountability for outcomes that impact multiple people at once. This is where authority becomes real. Your words carry weight. Your decisions shape the direction of missions, and when something goes wrong, you're the one expected to fix it. Your assignments are more complex. You're dealing with threats that require coordination, planning, and quick thinking under pressure. There's no one stepping in to guide you through every move. You're expected to figure it out in real time. That's the hardest part. Because leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about making the best decision you can with limited information and accepting whatever comes from it. At this level, success builds trust, failure builds consequences, and both follow you forward. Captain. You have your own ship, own crew, and your own set of responsibilities out on the open sea. After training, you learn different kinds of haki. You choose how to approach missions, how to handle threats, how to manage the people under your command. One mistake and your crew will be Captains like Smoker represent this level. There are pirates out there far beyond your level, enemies you're not meant to defeat, and when you encounter them, you don't get time to prepare. You react, and that reaction determines whether you and your crew make it back. This is where you learn that leadership isn't just about authority. You need to make decision if you are going to engage with the threat, because not only you, your crew's safety also depended on you, because one mistake and it's about responsibility for people who trust you to make the right call, even when there isn't one. Commodore. Now your perspective changes. You're overseeing multiple units, coordinating operations, and making decisions that affect a wider scale of activity. Most importantly, you are given some devil fruits. You don't know what kind of power you will receive. It might be a curse or a blessing. You can become the world's strongest person that everyone will envy, or just a jacket human. The decision is yours if you want to have C's curse or just rely on Haki. Your role shifts from direct involvement to strategic oversight. You're planning movements, allocating resources, ensuring that different parts of an operation work together effectively. This level requires a different kind of thinking. You're not reacting to situations anymore. You're anticipating them, trying to stay one step ahead of problems before they even happen. Because when something goes wrong at this scale, it doesn't stay contained, it spreads. A single miscalculation can impact multiple crews, multiple missions, and outcomes you won't be able to fix in time. This is where leadership becomes less visible, but far more critical. Vice Admiral. Now you're part of the core strength of the Marines, not on his level yet. You know how to use all those 6 powers. You can now join the Buster Call along with 4 different Vice Admirals. Your responsibilities include leading large-scale missions, engaging high-level threats, and maintaining control in situations that can escalate into full conflict. At this level, you're not just reacting to events, you're shaping them. But there's a clear awareness that you're not at the top. There are still individuals whose presence changes everything. You're powerful, but not absolute. Admiral, now you represent the highest level of active marine power. You have mastered every kind of Haki along with your devil fruit power. Admirals are not just strong, they're overwhelming. This Gear 5 fight with Kizaru at Egghead shows us how strong an admiral can be. Figures like Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru define this position. When you enter a situation, everything changes. You don't adapt to the battlefield. The battlefield adapts to you. Your missions involve the most dangerous threats in the world. Yonko crews, revolutionary forces, conflicts that can reshape entire regions. The expectations are absolute. You resolve the situation. At this level, you will not think twice to take on Yonko commanders or any threat with around $1 billion bounty or more. You will be under direct control of elders, and also that is the reason Garp didn't accept his promotion. There's no margin for error, only outcomes. Fleet Admiral. At the very top sits one position, Fleet Admiral, currently held by Sakazuki. This role is no longer about direct combat, it's about control. You decide the fate of the world, you oversee the entire marine organization, coordinate global operations, work directly with the highest levels of authority. It's on you to decide to stay on any edge or at center to serve justice, because definition of justice depends on who serves it. Every decision you make carries consequences that extend far beyond individual missions. You're managing strategy, resources, and priorities on a scale that affects the entire world. There's no room for uncertainty, no opportunity to step back and reassess after the fact, because once a decision is made, you just need to move forward even if it is right or wrong.